Lucas Hogberg from Europe is up first, 315 pounds. Europe has yet to score any points through the first two events.
Nice.
No problem for Lucas Hogberg. Good opening lift for him.
That's what he needed. He saw what happened earlier in the snatch. He didn't want that to happen to him. Nice lift and a grin. They had to set this weight early, so it's nice that he was able to come out and actually hit that easily. What I love about this event versus the first event is we always talk in CrossFit about you got to be, you got to have the endurance, you got to have the speed, you got to have the power. This puts that, it's totally opposite from the first event.
Con Porter will stand up 315, and the jerk is good. But it's Europe with the lead right now at a 551-pound total. Now Jason Khalipa. He is from San Jose, California. He is one of three men, or three people, I should say, to compete in 7 CrossFit Games, and he can maul a barbell. 320 will go up for Jason Khalipa.
Strong athlete. To me, he just never seems comfortable, though, with that jerk. The overhead, for me, just doesn't ever look like he loves that.
Well, again, I don't think he's a technical type mover. He's just a power mover. Not taking anything away from that, but he just, it's not going to be as pretty as.
Paul Tremblay at 335. No problem for Tremblay.
Uh-oh. I think the other teams are saying uh-oh right now because that was way too easy for being 335 pounds.
If we go back to the games, Paul Tremblay in that clean speed ladder could have possibly won the event. He had a costly no rep that kept him from getting into the finals. He would have been right there had he been in that final heat. And now Lucas Hogberg, his second attempt, as Canada has taken the lead at 573. This is 341 for Hogberg. And Hogberg will hit 341 pounds.
And that's a big jump, 341 pounds from 315, so he got his comfort level in. And we talked about this earlier, that it's you get your first shot, get it under your belt. Then you go for what you want, and if you hit it, good, you go up. If not, you can have that hit again. But that was a great jump and a great movement on his part.
Con Porter at 326. Porter will stick that. Europe has the lead at 577. Australia now with 526. USA 1 pound behind them, and Canada sits in second. Here's Jason Khalipa at 342 pounds. Both Rich Froning and Becca Voigt out there coaching him on. Becca Voigt, the coach of the U.S. team. No problem for Khalipa getting out of the hole. And a much better jerk on this attempt than the first one.
But I'll tell you where he's strong is that clean. He can squat. This guy can squat like nobody's business. So if he can get under the bar, that's not a big deal. The issue will be the jerk going overhead. Is it shoulder flexibility? Is he able to get his arms all the way back, get his head through the hole, and really support the weight? Because that was way out in front, and he fought it all the way
but he can
where
fight,
he was standing.
And that's it.
True.
It's heavy. If it's enough that he can hold on to it and fight, he will.
355 for Paul Tremblay.
A power clean, give me a break.
And he's at 593, and now Lucas Hogberg for his final lift of this first round.
I don't know if you saw that look that Paul just gave Jason when he looked over his weight. Says, "Oh yeah, take some of that."
Hogberg at 355. Can't get that to go, but Paul Tremblay might have a screw loose. The guy has competed in what's called crashed ice racing. They essentially build a downhill track in the middle of a city, and then 4 guys ice skate down it and just beat the tar out of one another down the way. I mean, it's crazy, and that's what he likes to do.
That's pretty cool. It's like Warriors on ice.
Yeah, it is like Mad Max on a track on ice skates. Here's Con Porter at 350 for Australia.
Oh wow!
Now can he get it overhead? Now can Con Porter get this overhead to make the lift count? Porter can't do it, so it will not count. So Australia with 526 pounds.
But you can see Chad back there. He's like, you know what? That was a good attempt. You fought through that clean. That's exactly what he needs to do.
Jason Khalipa trying to tie Paul Tremblay at 355.
All right, so here comes the hard part now.
Khalipa can't
wow.
quite get that one overhead, but he will advance. He will have 3 more attempts because he is in second place behind Paul Tremblay, who now has 365 pounds on the bar and trying to maybe put this thing out of reach and rack up 3 points for the Canadian team. They have the lead with 8 total points through 2 events. Oh,
again,
man.
wow, he just makes it look so easy.
Tremblay at 365.
Wow.
That one looks better than the last lift.
Yeah. So that definitely put the heat on Jason right there. That was an amazing, I mean, he just makes it look so easy. It was a push press.
It's going to be Tremblay and Khalipa facing off in the final round. They'll each have 3 more attempts. The Canada team with 603 pounds. And here's another look at Paul Tremblay.
Super strong out of the hole. Again, not a big setup, just basically a grip it and rip it right off the floor. But he did, look how shallow that split was. He did not even need to go underneath it.
And that's what's scary. He's the kind of athlete that they're scarier because they look like they make it look easier as the weight gets heavier.
Yep.
And
Jason Khalipa currently has.
I'll tell you what, he's making a show for himself so far. 2 events, took Canada through the first event, and now he just put Canada on the map on this event. Nice job, Paul.
Tremblay made his first appearance at the CrossFit Games as an individual. He has been there as a team member before. And one of the more powerful athletes in the sport. Now here's Khalipa, another run at 355. No problem getting it stood up. And he will get the jerk. So Jason Khalipa, the delight of his hometown crowd.
He needed that.
355.
He needed that.
And that smile said it all.
Of the Canada team. Now, smart move here by Coach Reed McKenzie, telling his athlete to pass on this. Because remember, we still have 2 more events to come up. No reason to expend extra effort here when you already have the lead by a wide margin. Becca Voigt, another 7-time CrossFit Games competitor, talking things over with Khalipa and Froning. They need to make up 43 pounds here over 2 lifts. And now the U.S. team has passed.
Or do you rest yourself out and save it for the next 2 events?
Let's
Give
do
me that bar.
Canada with the lead at 603.
Wow. Okay.
Europe currently sits in second. So Khalipa needs to make up 17 pounds to put the United States in second place, and he has 370 now on the barbell.
Personal opinion, I don't think that was a very smart move. The reason is I don't think he'll have a problem squatting it, but if he has any sort of issue getting it overhead and risking a shot of injury for this, it really won't be enough.
Rich Froning bringing this crowd to his feet as Khalipa goes after 370. And just can't make a good attempt at the jerk. You saw him trying to get it, just doing everything he could to maybe make one good attempt. Paul Tremblay looking over.
Well, if nothing else, it gave Paul a little nervousness. It's like, wow, you're really jumping up that high. All right.
That escalated quickly.
And he does have the crowd behind him. I mean, he is the California kid, so.
Well, Paul Tremblay will not make another attempt, and the Canada team will rack up 3 more points, and they will remain in first place. Jason Khalipa will get a 3rd place for the United States, but Paul Tremblay putting on a show here. I mean, you don't get much better than this.
Just manhandled the weight, and what I love, again, is that he ripped through his pull-ups, ripped through the light thrusters, and then crushes this absolutely heavy weight 365 pounds makes it look easier than the 335 that he started with.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, starting off with the fifth woman.
No problem on the clean for Bazinet. And that is easy. 2:15 in the bag for Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet.
She made that jerk look very nice. I was really impressed starting with 2:15. She has a listed PR of 238 pounds, so really impressive first lift.
Now Annie Thorisdottir, the 2011 and 2012 Reebok CrossFit Games champion. Finished second this last year at the Games. She's starting at 212 and didn't even need to squat that.
And was actually laughing at herself for doing that. You don't see that in the middle of a one-rep lifting event where you laugh in the middle of it.
Just kind of like, actually, I don't need to squat here. I'm going to stay up.
That was easier than I thought it was. Hello, you're already up on me. All right, okay.
Danae Brown will lift third. 3 attempts for all these ladies and 1 attempt every 30 seconds. And Danae Brown from Australia opening up at 190 pounds. And good for Brown at 190.
Very methodical. It really worked through each part. It was ready for it. I like her composure.
And finally, in this first round, Julie Fouché, 195 pounds on the barbell. Fouché actually took last year off to attend medical school, came back and finished third at the CrossFit Games. $195 for Fouché, but it's Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet who has the lead for Canada at 215 pounds. 3 points on the line in this event. We will combine the best lift for the women with the best lift for the men. That's how we will determine who wins this third of 5 events here at the 2014 Reebok CrossFit Invitational presented by HGST. 225 now for Bazinet.
Easy out of the bottom.
And that is good for Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet, and she's a woman who we know does well in the bodyweight movements, but she is really focused on getting stronger at the Olympic lifts.
Very strong. She barely had to split there. You saw how it's just a very shallow split. Really strong overhead.
Annie Thorisdottir moving up to 222 pounds.
She just does not want to go down to that squat position. I wonder if she has something going on with her legs or if she's still worried about her back.
Makes the jerk look really easy, so 222 will count for Annie Thorisdottir. And we move down to Danae Brown from Australia. She hit 190, now going for 200 pounds. And Danae Brown with 200 pounds for Australia on her second lift. And to close out round 2, Julie Fouché, 205 pounds on the bar. Count it for Julie Fouché.
She's a little slower to get under that bar. She kind of rides it down a little bit. Doesn't pull herself as quickly as some of the other athletes, but she really does make that. She moves the bar well, though, and holds on really nicely.
Third attempt for Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet, and it's going to be 232 pounds. Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet goes 3 for 3, 232.
Very impressive.
Congratulated by Michelle Letendre, a woman who is often her rival in individual competition in the Canada East region, and her coach, Reed McKenzie, and now Annie Thorisdottir, her final attempt at 227 pounds. Top 2 lifts move on with 3 more attempts.
Again, power clean. She knows people are wincing for her.
Thorisdottir will hit that, 227.
Didn't have to be pretty, still counts.
So Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet and Annie Thorstadter look like they will be the two moving on, as Danae Brown has 212 on the bar. She will lift next, and Julie Fouché will go after 215 pounds.
Oh,
boy, Brown just bailed out of that early.
I think he just bailed out on that one, yeah.
And sometimes as an athlete, you know that when you go to make the attempt and you know whether you have it or you don't. Smart on her, doesn't want to risk an injury. There is still more events that she has.
And now Julie Fouché at 215. Fouché cannot get out. Who is probably one of the most powerful athletes that we have in this competition. So the United States still very much alive here in event number 3. Here's Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet on her 3rd and final attempt.
This great extension that she gets and pulls herself under that bar so quickly. And watch her quick split with her feet, and is so strong overhead. Stabilize that bar very quickly.
One more look.
And she doesn't waste any time getting out of the bottom there. She just bounces right out.
Just so fast.
Punches that bar.
Just makes that weight look so light. And Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet will now move on, and she'll battle Annie Thorstadter for the lead before we hand it off to the men.
And I love watching these fitness athletes basically, making their way into these other realms, the Olympic lifting, the running, the triathlons, whatever, and being able to really excel at that. And then they use that, come back into the CrossFit realm, and then just, blast. She looks so technically sound.
LeBlanc-Bazinet. This will tie her personal best lift. And that'll count. Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet, 238 pounds, tying a personal best.
And that core stability, getting out of the hole, we saw Julie Fouché miss earlier. To get out of there is just everything you have inside. And you can see Camille just tenses up and fights to get up and looks beautiful.
Annie Thorstadter, 232 on the barbell.
Oh, man. That is just, I'm blown away that she's not squatting under the bar.
And that will count for Annie Thorstadter. Now remember, Thorstadter missed last year with a back injury. She had a disc problem in her lower back that kept her from coming back and trying to go for a 3rd straight CrossFit Games title. So that may be playing into her decision to not try and get under that barbell.
It could, but Annie's history, she's not really, I'm like Annie. We're power, we prefer the power position there. We don't like to squat as much. That is what she's done historically, so I understand where she's going there. I don't see her changing that technique, especially with her back injury. I'm not saying the technique could have been a cause, but CLB is the one that has passed her with that good technique. So should Annie move on to a different technique? Yeah, probably.
Now Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet has elected to pass on her 2nd lift. And that means that Annie Thorstadter will go again. Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet has loaded up the barbell with 241 pounds, but she will save that for her final attempt, trying to get more rest. But now Annie Thorstadter has now passed, and we're back for Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet at 241 pounds. This will be her final lift.
I think it was smart on both athletes. There's no reason, if she's going to get the extra rest, you're not going to go up again. Annie knows she's near her max.
241 for Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet. And just can't get out of the hole, but Canada will have the lead as they hand it off to the men. And Paul Tremblay for Canada can move some weight. Annie Thorstadter, her final attempt, 236 pounds. Power cleaning it once again. And no problem for Annie Thorstadter. 236. They're just 2 pounds back at Canada. She hugs her coach, Matt Jacobson.
I just think that if she knew she was that close, her jerk position is so strong, I think she should have gone up. And no matter how ugly the power would have been, I think that would have been a better move on her part.
Yeah, it's a really good point. But CLB here, just so nice and technical here. A completely different lift than we saw Annie just before, but Camille nice and strong on both parts of the lift. Strong out of the hole and overhead nice and stable. But here's the attempt where you just see her dig in that fight through the middle that some people just can't get through. That takes so much out of you.
And let's keep in mind that Camille LeBlanc-Bazinet is 5'2" and 130. Pretty impressive for a woman of that size to be putting up that amount of weight.